All right. It says we're live now. Let me check my mobile device before I go any further. Where you at? There you are. Oh, that's a sexy. Oh, that's a sexy voice. So yeah, yeah, we are live right now.
Who's that stud talking?
Yeah, that's a sexy voice. Welcome everybody to another edition of Collect All Monsters, a side project, if you will, on Collect All Monsters. First off, let me wish you and your family. Hope y'all had a great, happy Thanksgiving. Hope you got filled with turkey and ham and collard greens. If you eat that, I don't discriminate. Cornbread, potato salad, sweet potato pie. If you had some family members over, hopefully they didn't take out 14 plates, because they didn't put in on the food and all that good stuff. But we hope you had a great Thanksgiving holiday. And here we are approaching this new week, and there's a lot of stuff going on this week. A couple things going on this week, whatever. Minus One finally hit stateside. It's a big, big, big release, and it's a big, big time for Godzilla fans. Yeah. So we wanted to open this week in a way with a big, big show involving something big. This year, as a matter of fact, in a couple of weeks, come December, marks the 10th year anniversary of the X Plus Gigantic series. Of course, you know what that is. The line of figures from X Plus that introduces Godzilla and other characters in gigantic size scale, 18 inches, 19 inches, whatever. And we're here to celebrate this milestone of an occasion involving the X Plus Gigantic series. But of course, I'm not alone. You know who I am, the problem child of Collect All Monsters, Leslie Chambers, but I am not alone. I got a fellow co-host on Collect All Monsters and some great, great, awesome hosts from a fellow show, if you will. But let me do the Steve Harvey thing and do my introduction. Oh my God. Of course, this guy right here. Yeah, that guy right there. That guy right there. The professor on Collect All Monsters, mykaiju.com, the one and the only John Ruffin. How you doing, John?
I'm doing great, Leslie. And I'm even better because I'm with you guys today. All's well.
Good. I appreciate that. I appreciate you being here for real. And next on the list, of course, coming from the Monsters with Attitude show, that awesome show, even though they're part-time terrorists on the weekends, there are great
low-key, Leslie.
Wow.
I gotta make things interesting on this show. But yes, a couple members from the Monsters with Attitude show, of course, Joe Meyers, and of course the other guy with the epic beard, Eric Stolp from Bitter Kaiju Reviews and Monsters with Attitude. Thank you both very much for being here. How y'all doing today?
Really good. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. This is my first show with John, so this is awesome. I definitely am a big fan of you, John. So this is great to be on the show with you for the first time. So yeah,
it's an honor to be on the show with you.
Likewise for me. Love all you guys. Thank you so much, Leslie, for asking me on. That was awesome. It meant the world. I love talking about this stuff, and
absolutely.
You guys are all good people, and it's gonna be a good time. Lots of laughs, I'm sure, and some friendly debates ahead.
I mean, of course, a good show has to have some type of friendly debate. Like if we all felt the same way about every single thing, that would be boring. And I'm sorry, between Collect All Monsters, Monsters with Attitude, that's something that we don't do. We don't do boring on our shows, And I said it in a private chat, and I'll say it here publicly because I don't care bringing shame to this man. Eric, thank you again for taking time from your geriatric side hustle on the weekends, making it rain for the grannies in their retirement homes. When you shaking your tail feather in front of them, thank you for taking time away from that side hustle to come here and bless us with your presence.
You are welcome. You are welcome.
I'm sorry. That always cracks me up. And I'm not lying either. He does do that on the weekends. He does shake his tail feather for the Golden Girls at the retirement home.
I've seen it. I can attest. He does it. I have videos.
Nah, I'm just playing. But thank you both for being here. And of course, next, he's a surprise guest. I didn't announce him for the show, but I want to make a surprise that he will be here again, coming from the Monster with Attitude show. The one and only Godzilla Train 1090. Adrian Seto. How you doing, Adrian?
Doing great, Leslie. As always, it's always a pleasure to be streaming with you, John. You as well. It's been too long. I haven't seen you since February, John. So it's good to stream with everybody always. Definitely was unexpected for me too, but I'm excited to be here and I'm ready to talk about some gigantics.
And for those who are wondering, yes, Adrian is safe. He is not in a dark alley in New York. He's at home. That's just a fake background, but he's safe. He is safe. But then again, once I introduce this next person, he may not be safe. Also from the Monsters with Attitude show, the one and the only Michael Hamilton, also from Kaiju Ramen. How you doing, Michael? How you doing?
I'm doing so good, man. I'm doing so good. I'm really excited to be here with my fellow brothers from Monsters with Attitude. Get to see John again. I knew John was coming on for his big brain and all the knowledge about Gigantics and X Plus, but the real reason why he's here is to babysit you, Leslie. I'm just not figuring that out.
let's be honest.
because Kyle couldn't join us, someone had to fill in and keep you under control.
Yeah. Good luck with that. That's all I can say. You know what? Kyle barely does it. Kyle just has this attitude where he just smiles and goes, totally. I mean, he accepts me for who I am, kind of like that drunk uncle that showed up at Thanksgiving a couple nights ago. You have to accept that Uncle Joe is Uncle Joe and just keep moving on. But again, thank you all for being here. I really do appreciate it. And of course, we got some people in the chat. Of course, Mark Ruffin Studio. That's your brother, John?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we got Helmy. What's going on, Helmy?
Helmy.
Oscar Solis.
Oscar, what's going on?
Oscar.
We got a pervert in the chat. Okay, that's fine. Nathaniel, what's going on? Of course, Helmy again. So thank y'all so much for being here. We're talking about, of course, the X Plus Gigantic series, again, celebrating 10 years this year because the first Gigantic came out late 2013 with the awesome GMK Godzilla 2001. And again, I wanted to talk about this because the X Plus Gigantic series, for the longest time, has been my favorite line of collectibles from X Plus. All due respect to the Death of Reals, the 25 to 30s, even the favorite sculptors line, but the Gigantic series, just like I'm sure like a lot of y'all, has been like your go-to line, at least one of the lines that you've been most excited about. You know what I mean? I'm sure all of us has got a Gigantic, and X Plus Gigantic in our collection, or at least has come across one.
The bigger the better.
The bigger the better. And so we're here to talk about our favorite Gigantics, our favorite Rick accessories with the Gigantics. Where do we see the Gigantic series going from here, now being 10 years in? So again, thank y'all for being here. And we're going to try and keep it real simple and basic with the discussion. And I do have something that I want to announce come the tail end of the show that has to do with some great shows that between both our shows that we're going to do next year, because next year is going to be amazing when it comes to anniversary and stuff like that. And so we're going to hold you down with some great topics, but again, we'll talk about that towards the tail end of the show. So basically, we just go around the room, whatever. Again, John, then Joe, then Eric, and then Adrian, then Michael, and I'll bring it up on the rear. I'm sorry, Michael. But
there's an obvious joke there, but this isn't our show, so I can't make it.
But I'm sure all of y'all love the X Plus Gigantic series. But what was your first ever Gigantic that made you a fan? What was the first ever X Plus Gigantic series figure that you gotten for yourself? Go ahead, John.
I came to X Plus late, but I missed out on some of the earlier 25 centimeter. I kind of started collecting in 2014, and so I was also late to the 95 to the Desu Goji. So that was the one that that's my first. And I was so happy to get that. And I regret not being able to get the Oxygen Destroyer and holder that came with it. But that was like sold me. I'm like, gosh, a gigantic Godzilla. Are you kidding me? I mean, there's been the Bandai, larger figures and all, but the Desu Goji, 95. Love it.
How about y'all folks?
Mine was the Burning as well. I'm a huge fan of Destroya, Godzilla vs. Destroya. So, and Burning Godzilla, I've always loved too. And So when I saw that announced, I had to get it, and it's my favorite. It started it, got me hook, line, and sinker, and pretty much everything that came afterwards. It blew it out of the water for me, and right out of the gate. And so the first one was Desu here.
Great kid.
Yeah, mine was Godzilla 62 actually. I was a little bit late to the X Plus collecting game and stuff like that. So when I started figuring out about it, learning about it and stuff like that, I finally got to see that they were making these big gigantic figures and stuff. And 62 was my very first one. Like I was very, like I said, early into it. So money was super tight for me, and everything. And these things are not cheap and everything. So like getting one of these things was a huge deal for me. So yeah, I went and got the Godzilla 62. That was my very first one. Actually, I got it on the day that I was leaving town, and I actually took that thing with me because I wanted to see it in hand. I didn't get a chance to unbox it or nothing. I took that big old box with me. I was like, I don't care. I'll open this thing in the hotel room just so I can see it because I was that excited for it and everything. So, but yeah, that's kind of where I started, and then from there, it just kind of keeps trickling, and I just keep collecting them. So
Nothing like them.
Yeah, for me, and y'all know how late I got to the X Plus game, so and I've always been really picky when it came to Gigantics. So I did see a lot of really likes. Some I was like, okay. But of course, my very first one was a 1954 favorite sculpture design Godzilla. Even though, if y'all know me, there's some controversy behind that. But my very first was a 1954.
Jesus Christ!
Godzilla.
yeah, why don't you explain
Why don't you explain that? Why don't you explain that controversy, Adrian? Go ahead. The floor is yours, sir.
Yeah. Explain yourself.
So when I got the 1954 Godzilla, I was really in love with it. At first, I thought I was going to vote for that for Figure of the Year, but my vote kind of changed the more I got to looking at Megalon. I was like, I guess we'll vote for Megalon for Figure of the Year. And Leslie said, "Well, forgive me for that."
Horrible, just horrible, if you ask me.
You were so adamant and just on it, dude.
The LeBron James of our community, ladies and gentlemen, the LeBron James.
Absolutely.
How about you, Michael?
Well, my first one was the 62 also. I think the common thread here is we all got started in X Plus late, except for Leslie, of course. We all got started super late, and again, these things are not cheap. So I held off on getting a gigantic for a long time. But then they reissued. It was the first reissue that came with 62, if I'm not mistaken, that popped up, and I got it for the retail price, and it fell in love with it. I love 62. I love the 62 design. It's not my favorite design, but I still appreciate the 62. And then from there, I just really love the gigantic line, and it is one of my favorite lines to collect. I'm picky. I'm like Adrian. I get the pickiness, but it is still one of my favorite lines to collect.
Well, and y'all know me, my first ever gigantic was ironically not GMK, which you would think me loving GMK and having a wife that loves GMK, that would be my first. But actually, I'm like Joe, where and Eric. Eric said it was 62. My first was a 95, and once I saw that thing in person, I was like, yeah, this is something I'm going to devote my life to be honest with you. I was like, because honestly, I have never been a big fan of the Burning Godzilla as a design or as a suit. I mean, I like the movie, or at least I love the movie of Destroyer, but I've never really been a big fan of the Burning Godzilla concept. I just never really gravitated to it. But once I got the figure, as a matter of fact, I like more so the figure of the Burning Godzilla than actually the Burning Godzilla itself. But once I got my hands on that, I was like, yeah. And ever since then, that's been like I think we all can agree that X Plus is kind of like falling down just a little bit, because with the influx of new companies coming into the woodwork offering gigantic stuff. I mean, but I remember a time where a gigantic series announcement made everything stop. Like, it was so special, it was so awesome. And ever since, we got the Burning Godzilla, like every gigantic series announcement after that, like, what was the next one? Is it going to be 54? Is it going to be 91? Is it going to be something, And I still hold on to those memories. But yet the first one for me was the 95. And speaking of 95, you know what? Let's go to the first question right fast. Rapid fire question. Which Heisei Gigantic do you find to be more superior, the 89 or the 95? John, go.
The 89. It just captures that Baragoji much. I just think it was a nice sculpt. I love it more than the 95. Okay.
How about you, Joe?
Well, I think that Eric and I are divided clearly here. I got to go with 95. I love it. I like the visceral look of it. I'm a fan of that. I'm a fan of stylized and kind of like action pose, and instead of just like the normal static designs and stuff, or static poses. So, and I'm probably in the minority when it comes to that, but I got to give it to Burning Godzilla. I like the colors. It pops. I like the roaring charge. Like, I'm here to get you and I'm going to mess you up. I like that. I like that visceral look of it. So.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, we are divided. I mean, obviously you can see on screen, like we have our kind of favorites next to us and stuff like that. And yeah, I have the 89 because I absolutely love this suit. This suit is tied with my first with the 75 suit. Like, this suit is just phenomenal to me. I think it's the best suit out of all of them for the Heisei. It just looks so good, and what they did with this thing, it looks so screen accurate. Unlike Joel, like, he said he likes the stylized. I'm more of the suit accurate, to a T, like give every little thing, every little proportion exactly. And that's what I want in my figure and stuff like that. So, I don't really gravitate towards the stylized stuff. Like, give me this kind of stuff and I'll get it all day long, but yeah, 89 for me, man. I just absolutely love it. It's gorgeous.
I'm with you on that, Eric.
See, with this question, I'm kind of torn, honestly, because I'm a real suit accurate guy too, and I've had the 89 in my collection. But a few months ago, I went to Felipe Sanchez's house and I saw his gigantic 95, and just the mere presence of that thing is just incredible. So I'm actually gonna have to go with 95.
All right, we're split. 295, 289. Where do you stand, Michael? Where do you stand?
Oh no, it's 89 all the way. 89 all the way. It's accurate. It captures Biogoji and a little bit of Gedo Goji as well. Yeah. In its sculpt. The sculpt is perfect. It is perfect.
Suit accurate.
Again, even though that was my first gigantic 95, I'm gonna have to. I'm sorry, Adrian and Joe. I'm going with 89. I'm going with 89. Kind of like what Michael just said. I do see shades of the 91 in there, and that kind of tips it over the top for me. Because to me, the 91 suit is my favorite suit of the Heisei period. So to see just a little bit, not all the way, but just a little bit, especially in the chest and the fangs and stuff, yeah. I do like the 89. I mean, take nothing away from 95. That one's awesome too. But between the two, yeah. I kind of like the 89 more. Next question, rapid fire question. Which Showa Gigantic do you find more superior? The Sakai 54 or the Favorite Sculptors line 54?
You're going to get me in big trouble here. Okay, so I love Master Sakai's 54. But I don't think it translated in the mold well to what we got. His prototype is perfect, but something happened in the chest area and just it's a little deflated like. And that's why I have the Favorite Sculptors line, Inoue Arts 54 is just magnificent. It has its subtle issues, but what I love about it is because growing up in the 80s and 90s and seeing Hobby Japan and other Japanese magazines and seeing the old kits, and seeing this as the years went by, it's like, oh, to finally have that in the collection, it's just more special to me right now on this side. And that 54 from Sakai would have been perfect if it translated better into vinyl.
What about you, Joe?
Excuse me. I agree with John. I'll keep it short because it's pretty much everything that I was thinking. I think the original maquette or prototype, what have you, looked amazing. It was beautiful, gorgeous, but there was just not that transfer. So yeah, I 100% what John said for sure for me.
Yeah, show it right
Yeah.
fast, John. Go for it.
It's
Yeah.
just impressive.
Yeah, look at that thing.
It's just impressive from every angle. It's like getting 54 off the set. It's not absolutely spot perfect, but it had, it's things I'd like to tweak in the face, but it is 54. Everything about it is just a gorgeous piece to have, especially as a part of the favorite sculptors line. And I love to see other gigantics or kits enter into the gigantic favorite sculptors line.
Yeah.
And
for sure.
Absolutely.
and they don't need to be suit accurate. I just want them in my collection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Adrian? Where do you stand? Sakai or favorite sculptors line involving the 54?
As much as I love the 30 centimeter Sakai, the gigantic Sakai 54 it wasn't the same in comparison, honestly. It made me really sad because I do really love Shodai Doji. So I'm definitely going to go with the favorite sculptures line. 54 for sure. Easy.
How about you, Mike?
FSL all the way for the same reasons John and everybody else has said. Like the Sakai is a beautiful figure, but the details on that thing are just so muddy. It's just so muddy, and it just doesn't.
It's bland. It's bland.
Yeah, it's really bland, and the FSL is so crispy, like the skin texture. And I agree with John. There are some issues with the face that kind of throw it off a little bit for me, but from every angle, it is a beautiful figure. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to go FSL.
I'm with you.
That's the thing. I love them both, even though I do see shortcomings with both. But I'm going to have to probably go against the grain here and probably pick the Sakai 54. Ooh. I'm aware of the issues that it has. I'm aware how bland it is. I'm aware that when you look at it, the detail doesn't scream Sakai. And that's what's so disappointing about that figure. However, and here's how I rationalize it. I look at the favorite sculptors line 54 as Godzilla as he's moving through Tokyo, as he's moving to destroy stuff. The Sakai 54 reminds me of that iconic steel of Godzilla in the background and the guns in the foreground, and he's looking down upon them. So, and that's why I have my 54 like on top. So when I look up at him, he's looking right back down at me. So I have to go with the Sakai here. Even though the favorite sculptors line, it is awesome. But the sculpt of that 54, it just captures that iconic steel that we all know and love. Of the menacing 54 looking down at the military. Yeah. All right, here's the next question. Which Showa gigantic do you find most superior? It could be either 54, both 54s, the 62, the 64, or Mechagodzilla. John, you know what, John? I think we all know what the hell you're going to say.
Guys, I'm sorry. There is a fire in my neighbor's house. Oh my God.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, y'all.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, go handle your business, man.
Sorry. Oh my God. Sorry. Let me mute myself.
Yep.
Okay.
No worries. Holy shit.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that. Okay, Joe. Why don't you go, and then John will come back whenever he can.
Sorry, Leslie, I got distracted by the fire. Repeat the question for me, please. I'm sorry. I was distracted.
It's fine. That's live TV. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
Hopefully that person's house is okay. I want to put that out there. But what is your what do you find most superior as far as like a Showa gigantic? It could be the Sakai 54, the favorite sculptors line 54, the 62, the 64, or Mechagodzilla. Out of those 5, which one do you think is the most superior gigantic from the Showa period?
So I like them all. One thing most people know about me, I'm not specific when I collect. I want it all. I love it all. Even the stuff that's not popular, I just love it and I want it, but I have to give it to Mechagodzilla. I liked it when I saw it in pictures, and then the first time that I came to Eric's house a couple years ago and I saw it in person, I fell in love with it, and I actually bought it while I was here. Because I loved it so much, I literally started going through the Facebook groups and actually, long story short, found somebody that was selling it and ordered it that day. And it was like, waiting for me, like when we came home type of thing, because I fell in love with it. So, and it's, even though I love them all and I think they're all great, it's when I have a reaction like that to a figure that I've seen in person to where I'm, okay, hey, all my friends, this is what I'm looking for. Find it for me, and I buy it right away. That I got to give it to Mechagodzilla, So,
yeah, I mean, I'll definitely jump on his back with this one. Mechagodzilla for sure. It sucks because for sure that thing should have won Figure of the Year when it was voting. I understand why it didn't, because a lot of people didn't vote for it because it didn't make it into our hands because of the COVID situation and the shipping and stuff like that. And people weren't going to pay as much as the figure was just to ship it, And honestly, I was one of them. I did not vote for that one because I did not have it in my hands, so I voted for the 84 Sakai. I completely regret that now because when I got that in hand, ever since I got that in hand, that thing blew me away with like the paint job and the sculpt. I mean, the sculpt is so good that you have the little wrinkles and the little bends from the suit, that the suit had from the wrist and stuff like that. Like you have that kind of stuff that transferred into the figure, and that says a lot when X Plus is going beyond, above and beyond, and actually getting those little details into that figure. Like, all the other ones are really great and stuff like that, but there's a little things that are wrong with a lot of the other ones and stuff like that you would like to change or modify and stuff like that. But with Mechagodzilla, like, it is perfection. It really, really is. So yeah, I'm going with Mechagodzilla.
Before you go, Adrian, let me just check back with John. John, are you cool? Are you okay?
We good?
Yeah, it's emotional. It's my neighbor's house. They're just running water, gushing through it now. The firemen on the roof is in our backyard across from us. Their house around the corner, right around, live with row homes here in Philadelphia. Whew, it's all right. They got it under control, but to see the water, I could show you guys, but to see wow.
I mean, because look on your face. Look on your face.
Wow. And this
look on your face got me worried. I'm like,
I'm
okay.
sorry. Let me see if I can.
Oh no, you're fine. You're fine.
Man, I'll just give you all a glimpse, but you might not be able to see it.
I'm gonna blow you up. Hold on.
I see the smoke.
You can see, the water was just gushing out. You can see the fire. Yeah, see the water
there.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Holy buckets.
Sorry.
I'll be praying. No, you're fine. I'll be praying for your neighbor, and I hope that I hope that you're okay.
Yeah, I'm okay. Just it was startling. And I ran down the calls 911, and then they put me on with the fire department, but they said they already have folk there because I didn't see anybody in the backyard, and it's like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully no one was in the back room.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
Thanks.
You're fine. But I guess you can answer the question now. But so again, I think we already know what you're gonna say because you're kind of biased when it comes to a certain mechanical marvel. but in your opinion, which Showa Gigantic do you find most superior? The Sakai 50? Never mind. I'm not gonna finish it. Never mind. All right, Adrian. You know what? Screw it. Adrian, go ahead because I'm not doing this with him today. So come on. I'm not doing this.
Make the right decision, Adrian. Make the right decision, Adrian.
I will make the right decision, and it's going to be the only sure representation of a gigantic I have in my collection. That's the FSL 1954.
You know what? Did that question could be open to whether you. This is also again, it could pertain to stuff you may not have and you may want to add into your collection. So don't use what you have, what you don't have as a parameter, to answer the question. Like if you find a 62 superior or the 64, which I don't see that happening, unfortunately, but but if you wanted to like add one to your collection that may come higher than the 54, or is the 54 your favorite?
The 54 is my favorite since I've seen all. The only show gigantic I haven't seen is the Mecha Godzilla. Maybe I'll change my mind whenever I do see that. The close second is the 62 though, because 62 is really impressive. But as far as detail wise and things of that nature, I'm going with the FSL 54.
Okay. I think I kind of know what Michael's going to say.
I know exactly
unless he surprises me, but I don't know. Because you never know what's going to come out of Michael's mouth. But Michael, what is your favorite?
That's true. That is very true. But no, I'm gonna make the right choice here and say Mechagodzilla because it's perfect. Like it's perfect, and it's not gray and bone white. It stands out in your collection. The rivets, the details, all the like the little the paint variations with like the metal, how the metal is kind of has that blue hue to it throughout the whole figure. It's perfect. I love the FSL. Jeez, I love the FSL Mechagodzilla too, but I love the gigantic Mechagodzilla. It's the best show of gigantic that we've gotten so far.
Yep.
Agreed.
And I'm in a firm agreement. I think Mechagodzilla is the best show of gigantic, and that personally hurts me because I was so putting in my chips on the 64, and I've been saying it for years. But one morning I had to come to Jesus moment, and I say, you know what, Leslie, be honest with yourself. Be honest, don't say it because you got a camera on you. Be honest with yourself, because if you can't be honest with yourself, you can't be honest with other people.
That's right.
Is the 64 really that awesome? And I sat there and thought about it, and just looked at it. I was like, you know what? It was a misfire. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not what I thought it was going to be, and that hurts me because you already know me. The 64 is like my Lord and Savior. But again, I wish they would have done it better. I wish they would have. I don't. John, you have to go to the bathroom or something? What's up?
I don't know if you can hear the I'm sorry for the background noise. The 64, to be honest with you, I know this is crazy. It is actually perfect from a certain angle.
On what planet? Bizarro Land? Bizarro World? Like, on what planet? And this is coming from me. This is coming from me. What? Perfect.
The problem is 64 has different looks from different angles. When you turn the 64 on the side and you see
oh boy, here we go.
You triggered him, John. You triggered him.
It's already off the room.
But from certain angles, you can line him up with the photos, and it's spot on.
Who? I want to know who the hell you talking about.
But okay, in other angles, it's off. But I'm gonna tell you, this thing probably has some activity because of the fall.
John, you muted. I think that's a little.
Yeah, no, I had to unmute because with that said, the challenges with 64 and with the suit. The teeth look big, but that's how they are. It's certain angles that angle right there. You check certain photos. It's quite spot on. It's just problematic because you have to turn it and you get other looks that don't match up with the like your M masterpiece.
Yeah.
You kind of have to the sculptor has to pick and choose where they're going to fall.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard. Sakai's got it. But it's just hard to nail that down. But I think at certain angles, that's 64. I'm sorry, I'm going to mute because of the noise. It's spot on.
What do you think, John? What do you think of the KOC 64 then?
Yes.
You saw it in person.
It's great.
You saw it in person. You better say the right thing.
Yeah, it's but it's still things I'd like to see.
Oh,
That are in the not that it doesn't cover it. There's certain angles that I like to see that are in some of the other Vine, like the MM28. Is it the one that
the M1 I have? The M1 I have?
I'm trying to think who. Yes, yeah. No, it's another. I'm trying to think of oh man,
Monster Maker. Monster Maker 28.
Yeah, I think that's the one. No, it may not be that one. But I think there's certain aspects about that one that's perfect. And if you can get all the bits and pieces of each one at work and get them together in one place, but they all have certain things that I'm not quite convinced.
Oh, okay.
That is absolutely perfect. Close. 64 to me is just difficult to get spot on at every angle.
That's fair.
Like
that's fair.
The texture of the suits and some of the sculpts bothers me. That's what gets me. I have the 30 centimeter 64, X plus, but I don't like the way it looks with his mouth open. I don't like the way. I don't like the claws a little bit too much, not a little bit too. And it's certain little things because I try to shoot it and I'm like, no, it doesn't quite get what I want, what I see on film to what I want in a shot. I'm just
that explains why you don't do many 64 shots because it's kind of hard to get that perfect shot, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I get it now. I get it now.
The amount of play that you have to do to get the right angle to get the personality out of the figure that captures the essence of what's on film and in the movie, it's hard. The 54 that I had the privilege to do for Sakai on its last model kit, just turning that 30 centimeter or 20, just a little bit, and bring the camera down, you get a shot where he looks like he's smiling. But you turn that thing a millimeter this way, and it just totally goes away. And it's so hard to get the right angles because you can look and you see how beautiful it is. But when it's under the camera, you got to play with it. You got to back up. You can't be up on your subject matter. You got to back away, and then you see it. And then can you get it and get the right lighting?
Yep.
That's kind of where my thoughts are on it.
64 is such a specific design that I would say it would be difficult. Like there are Godzilla designs that have a little that you can take a little bit more liberty with and it still capture the essence. Like 68 through 72. Like you could have your liberties with those because those vary, right? But 64 is so specific with the brows and the maul and the appearance of the skin and the dorsal spines, all and hands. Like it's so specific. I understand what John's saying. I understand what you're saying, John.
I do too. I do too. And it's nice that that you're writing for the 64. I know it makes it seem like I'm bad mouthing it. Maybe I am to a certain extent. But again,
you totally are.
I know I am, and I hate to do that. But again, once you get the KOC, everything comes down after that. So again, the KOC made me find the KOC makes the shortcomings on the gigantic X Plus a lot more apparent. And once you get the KOC, you can know exactly what I'm talking about because you can look at your other 64s and be like, why can't you do what he does? Why can't you do what he does? I'm just being honest, but I appreciate John riding and dying for the 64. I really do appreciate it, even though the film.
I can show you how many times I tried to shoot the gigantic 64. The amount of shots I've taken.
You know what? Shut up, John, because I don't think Michael knows this, but I'm going to bring this out right now. I don't know if you saw when me and John were ranking the Showa films, and I had him on as a special guest. He ranked the films. I don't know if you saw that video. Please do, but I'm going to give you a little spoiler, okay? Now, let me preface this by saying this, ladies and gentlemen. I know Mothra vs. Godzilla is not everybody's favorite, but by and large, you will find it real hard to find a fan that doesn't love Mothra vs. Godzilla or at least recognize how great of a film it is. Even though you may have some issues with the film, it's hard pressed to find a fan that says, you know what, that film is lowbrow, or at least it's low on my list. Except this dude right here. In all of the 15 Godzilla films from the Showa period, Michael, Of course, it ranks number one in our list. But where I'm gonna give you a guess. I'm gonna make you guess. Where do you think Mothra vs. Godzilla lands on John's list?
Oh boy,
you get one.
Oh, I want to give John. I respect the hell out of John, and I want to give John the benefit of the doubt. I really do, but my gut is telling me it's like probably 7.
Boy, you're a whole lot kinder than I thought you were going to be.
Thank you, Mike.
I tell you what. Add a 6 to that number.
Oh shit! I'm sorry.
13 at the bottom.
There's some reasons for it.
I
still
agree
love
with
you,
you,
John,
John. I agree with you, John.
I love you. I love you, John. But I
agree with you, buddy.
I question your morals. I question your morals, John. I do.
There are reasons. I'm biased because of growing up. Look, Mothra, forget Kong. It's the only one really credited with defeating Godzilla.
We're not going there either. We're not going there either.
I'm not going to watch this.
My question is, how did David react? Like, did David just lose his stuff all at once, or what?
Oh, he pulled out his switchblade and went to town on John.
No, it's a great movie. I'm not going to hate. It's a great movie. But the sad thing is, it's just not. I don't turn to it when I want that go-to Godzilla movie that put it on anytime, every time.
So it's like Destroy All Monsters for you, basically. It's like Destroy All Monsters in that sense, right?
Yeah.
But you know what, Joe? I heard what the hell you just said. You know what, Eric? I gotta ask you, Eric, because if you don't give me the right answer, you going down with Joe. Where does Mothra vs. Godzilla land on your list? And if it's not satisfactory, John, Joe, and Eric, it was nice having you here. It's gonna be a 3-person show, so do the right thing. Where does it land on your list, Eric?
Oh man, I did my rankings and stuff. I don't even remember where I put it. It's in the top 10.
Okay.
Well, there's only 15. That's not a very big.
That's not saying much. That's not saying much. Where is it? Where
You gotta
is it?
answer the question, Eric.
I don't remember what I ranked it as.
I want you to put it at 9.
It's like saying, "Oh, it's in the top 80%."
I would say probably. Honestly, it's probably in the top upper half of my ranking. So it's probably 8 and up or 7 and up.
And I
right in the middle.
I could probably guess why, and it's really for a petty reason.
Well,
It's because he lost.
Yeah,
The way he lost, right? Is that why it's not high? Because the way he lost?
Because of the worms.
They're worms, man. Come on.
oh my god!
You see, ladies and gentlemen, let me just say this
Keeping it
right now.
real.
Let me just say this right now, ladies and gentlemen.
Keep it real.
Fans like Eric are dangerous, who feel like Godzilla has to win every single movie, regardless of circumstances. He's dangerous. So not all Godzilla fans feel that way. They feel like the Godzilla has to win because, again, this dude, he refused to accept the ending of Destroyer because he don't want to see Godzilla die. That's like a lifetime moment. There's like a lifetime movie moment for him. But
It was.
But you know what? Let's keep the hate going for Mothra vs. Godzilla. Alex Sawyer, I personally agree with John Ruffin. It's not a go-to for mine. But again, I've seen your collection, so your taste is not really valid here. That's what happens when I run the show. I can seriously, Michael, when he said that, because again, he didn't tell me beforehand what his list was. So again, I'm thinking, even though I know that John has told me, like, throughout the years we've been friends, that yes, he loves the film, but it's not up there. So I already assumed that maybe I knew it was not going to be number 1. I knew it was about not be number 3, not even number 5. I thought it would be like in the latter half, like 7 or 8 or 9. Yeah. But when he said 13, when he turned that cover around and it was Mothra vs. Godzilla, like secretly, I'm like on Facebook trying to unfriend his ass. I'm like, This ain't right.
You want me to be honest.
This ain't right, but I appreciate you being honest. I get it. Not everybody feels the same way about Monster vs. Godzilla. Pretty much everything about Godzilla, we get it. I get it. That's why it makes our fandom so awesome and so really entertaining. And because diversity, ladies and gentlemen, is a great thing.
It's just that some fans have better taste than others, Leslie. It's all about us.
Exactly.
Oh, Alex going in. He said, hey, 64 is overrated. Oh, okay. Again, Alex, I told you, if you're going to clown, learn how to spell. Like, why we keep going through this? Overrated has 2 R's.
2 R's.
Not one.
All right.
Not one. Just. I mean, I can send you a kaiju thesaurus if you want one. I can help you out with that. But okay. Anyways, let's get on back to the Gigantics. All right. Now, everybody answered that question, right? As far as the which Gigantic you find more superior. Did I? Yeah. You know what? Michael was the last person. I didn't list mine. I think Mechagodzilla. Yeah, I did say that. Mechagodzilla is my favorite from the show. Period. Okay, now
you did.
We all know when it comes to the Rick accessories of the Gigantics, there have been like some Gigantics have a different shade of color, and then there are many Rick accessories that come with the Gigantics. We're gonna talk about the Rick mini accessories, right? These small little things that come with the Gigantic, not something that's on the actual figure itself. But in your opinion, what is your favorite mini Rick accessory that came with a Gigantic? Doesn't matter which Gigantic it is, but what is your favorite mini Rick accessory?
The one I don't have, I have it in the re-release of the 95, the green, glass oxygen destroyer. But I want that original one with the base because that's epic. That to me is the best one. The one that got away. This is a tough one.
I'm gonna go.
What's up, AJ? Go for it, Joe.
I'm gonna go. I agree with John. I think the Oxygen Destroyer, but I'm gonna go a different answer because I think we're all probably gonna have the same. I'm gonna go with the heart from GMK.
Oh, yes.
Because it's so unique, and you can ask Eric. I love that stuff that is weird, that is random, like that you don't see. Some of my favorite stuff to collect is like theater merchandise or like advertisement for the film that like not everybody has or like not everybody has seen. So like that, like just weird stuff stands out to me. So I'm going with Godzilla's heart.
That's a good call.
That's a good one too.
Oh man, yeah. I don't want to be like everybody else. So this is such a weird little thing that came out. But I've been on the hunt for it for a while because it had its own release and everything. And John has one and Leslie has one. And it came out with a new release of a re-release of a particular figure. And I'm going to say the Passion Boy, the little one that just came out with 62. Like, I don't know why, but I like him. Like, I want those weird things that associate with the movies and stuff like that. Like, we don't always have to have little monsters or whatever. Like, get us different things, either vehicles or ships or whatever. Like, that kind of stuff is really unique and really cool. I know, like, Cast makes a lot of those weird little things that we just never see and we're probably never going to see. But, like, that kind of stuff, I just absolutely love it. So I'm going to go with that one. Like, when I saw that, I was like, I almost wanted to rebuy the 62 just to have that little guy.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
So they should go into the Maniacs line. They should do that as a Maniac.
They should.
Yes, that would be a good idea.
Yeah, and a little bigger version.
A little bigger version. Yep.
Yeah.
Ooh, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. Good one there, man.
How about you, Adrian?
Honestly, I'm gonna have to agree with John. The Oxygen Destroyer that's in the base, that looks chef's kiss. It looks awesome. I wish I could find that. But if I did have that, if I did to pick something different, I would actually say the Frozen 95. That bad boy looks awesome.
The Super X3. The Super X3. Okay, I'm with you on that one. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah.
How about you, Mike?
I'm gonna agree with JoJo. and say that the Godzilla's heart from GMK. I mean, I like weird crap too. Like I like those weird little accessories, and it is reminiscent, like Eric was saying, of those cast figures that we get of just random stuff we don't ever get to see. The Oxygen Destroyer is a really excellent choice. And it's kind of the obvious. It's like the obvious choice, but just for the weird factor, I'm going to have to go with that GMK accessory, the heart, and definitely not those Dollar Tree, Hobby Lobby tanks that we got with the FSL 64 or 54. That was a waste of an extra. That was a waste. But
an extra $90, like boy bye.
Yeah,
boy bye.
Like two of mine broke out of the box like the day of. They did. Yeah, the legs broke off. I super glued them back, but yeah, I was pretty pissed about it.
Let's see. For me, it's going to be let's see. I'm assuming that Joe and John are saying the same thing. The Oxygen Destroyer with the base, the one that came with the 95. This thing,
that's it,
right there.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I actually, you know what? It's the thing. When I got the Burning Godzilla, when I got the figure, I actually got the standard. Because at the time, I wasn't really well versed in getting Ricks. And I've always wanted this. I've always wanted, at that point, I didn't have even an Oxygen Destroyer in my collection, but I've always wanted this.
Yes.
And I found it on eBay for a good price. And
really?
Wow. Yeah. I looked into this one, to be honest with you. I think this is one of the best accessories for any figure that X Plus has ever done. Again, you have the destroyer that you can take out and it's open, so it's used.
Beautiful.
You have the logo of the film, so you can put it not only with the Burning Godzilla, you can put it with the famous Godzilla Destroyer that came out earlier this year, the Aggregate Destroyer that came out. So it's versatile with everything. You don't have to use it just for the gigantic Burning Godzilla, which I thoroughly enjoy. And you know what? Let's divert right fast, and we'll entertain Alex Sawyer's question. He has a question, and we could just speed through it. We ain't got to give an in-depth reason. But he asked, maybe we could discuss this, but what Godzilla film would you personally want to be remade or better or needing an upgrade? If you don't mind, I'll go first just to give a frame of reference. Again, we can just speed through this. Based on what I saw on Godzilla Day, I want to see something with Megalon again. I think Megalon, with money behind it, I think a movie with Megalon showing what he could really do would have been really, really fun. That's my vote. Godzilla vs. Megalon. What about you, John?
That would be great in the MonsterVerse. I think that could be pulled off. Very, Megalon in the MonsterVerse look, I think, fantastic visually. You're going to see it next week.
Oh, really?
-1.
Just saying. Get ready.
Oh, I know. Right. I think I know what you're talking about, John. I know what you're talking about.
Y'all gonna love it.
I smell what The Rock is cooking on what John said.
Y'all gonna love it. Because -1, man, might be number one. Just saying. I can't wait to see everyone's reaction because I think that's the one. It's not a do-over, but it's a do-over. And it's beautiful.
I get that, but then like what I joked about in our chat, I have no doubt that -1 is going to be cool and going to be epic. But for it to top Mothra vs. Godzilla, it needs to come to my house and pay my house mortgage. I'm sorry, it has to do that. I'm sure I speak for Michael when I say this. Mothra vs. Godzilla is more than just a Godzilla movie. It's more than just a movie to us. It's an experience. It's us
nostalgia.
And to us, it's what Godzilla truly is. Now, when I say that, you know what? -1 is that to you.
-1 will blow you out of your seat. It's an experience. It is. You talking about, terrifying. This is Yamazaki hit this thing on the head, and that's all I'm saying. Enjoy and get ready to go back to see it some more, because I think the fandom's going to love it in mass. If it's still 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, you got a good movie. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, that is true.
It's a great movie, and I hope people, like my friends didn't know when I was talking to them yesterday, that the new Godzilla movie was coming this week. I wish there were commercials on TV because it's something that everyone can enjoy. And trust me, what you've seen is great, but it's the story and how that is it's emotional, man. It's
now,
great.
I do have a question, John, since you have seen. I know I don't want to derail too much, but I do want to ask while I'm thinking about it. I have a 6-year-old nephew, and could I take him to see that, or would that scare him too much? He loves Godzilla. Loves Godzilla.
Okay, maybe not.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Love it already.
Yeah, there's some things that are just a little too much that can forget. See, we got growing up. Our first impression of Godzilla was the ally and friend, and they got to when they make that gigantic a -1 line me up. Okay, I'm in first in line. Yeah, maybe not. I'm serious because there's things in it that can leave young fans. It might it can linger on them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
I would see it first, and then you decide. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, it's emotional. I almost bawled. I saw it 3 times, and I bawled almost I had my mask on in the theater, and I was hyperventilating.
Man, if you don't get a third job and grocery.
No, it's good like that. And when folk in the theater are crying, my friend was crying. It'll get you. It's good, and it's might be a little too much for.
You know what?
To see.
You know what? And Joe, we're gonna get to you, but this begs the question, man. And I've always wanted to ask this of my friends, but have any of y'all? I mean, there's no shame into admitting that because we're all grown. But at any point of you being a Godzilla fan, was there a moment that actually made you cry?
Yes, easy.
Yes,
Easy. Okay.
Go down the line, John. What moment was that?
-1. I just hands it 50. Excuse me, Shin did because it was too much like 311 in Japan. It was like, gosh, I'm reliving this thing. But -1, more. This is the Godzilla movie. I'm like, oh snaps! You can really make me cry up in here and bawl. I'm just saying. Okay, I'll be quiet.
How about Joe? What about you? What was that moment?
Destroyer, Godzilla's meltdown.
Oh, okay. Eric, what about you?
Mine was actually 2, 84 and 95. Or I shouldn't say 84. I should say 85 because that's the version that I saw, and the ending is just way different, and it's just it pulls at your heartstrings.
Adrian,
Eric, 85, 95.
2014 because I spent money to see it.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. I keyed. 95 makes me cry. Even to this day, 95 still makes me cry a little bit.
Yeah.
For me, it has to be, again, I'm agree with Eric, 85. Like, again, that was when I was young and new into Godzilla, but even though I knew back then he was like the villain antagonist, when I first watched it, my mom was like there with me. I'm just bawling. I'm just grabbing her leg like, Mom, is he going to come back? And she told me in so many words, like, if you don't get your crusty hands off my leg and just get off from me. But yeah, that one has always stuck me. You know what? I have to be honest with you. Son of Godzilla almost got me a couple of times. Son of Godzilla almost got me at the very end of Son of Godzilla.
Yeah.
See that though, I think you got to be a parent for that to tug at you a little bit.
Yeah.
I think you got to be a parent to do that. I don't have no kids, so that one doesn't get me.
Yeah,
But then again, when I was a kid and I saw that moment, because I had a tight relationship with my dad, and I knew that what Godzilla did for me, my dad did for me in so many ways. So when I saw that moment, him hovering him and covering him, say what you will about the suit. I know people don't like the suit, but that moment, that almost, especially that music, like that music just drives it home.
Oh,
it's like, oh God, But anyways, all right, Joe, go back.
One last quick thing. I wish I had a camera on each of you to see your reaction as you watch the movie. That like they did with the trailer. I would just want to be watching you all in the theater just to see what you do through the whole thing. It's gonna be fascinating.
Honestly, I'm not good when it comes to going to movie theaters with me, especially if you looking at my reaction, because my mind is not gonna be worrying about the movie. My mind is worrying about you, worrying about me. And I'm just sitting there looking at you like, dude, give me my space. Shut up. Let me enjoy this thing. Go away. Leave me alone. I love you, but go away. Anyways, I'm just joking. Anyways, Joe, if you could remake a Godzilla film, what would it be?
It would be either Destroy All Monsters or Final Wars, but there's a caveat. It has to be more than one film. It has to be a trilogy or something. There's too much in those films for a single film. So that has to be a trilogy, part one or just whatever. Part one, part two, or part one, part two, three. Because it has to take its time, build, and turn Final Wars or Destroy All Monsters into kind of like the Infinity Saga of what Marvel was, and build to Ghidorah being the Thanos of the Godzilla verse, and these monsters come together. It's the end of the world. The world's destroyed. Not all the monsters are good. Some of them are bad, and Godzilla and his allies have to fight some of them, but they're all eventually making their way to Ghidorah.
How about you, Eric?
Yeah, he took half of mine. Destroy All Monsters for me. I even though I do love it, it does hold a place in my heart and everything. Love a lot about it, but just that ending was just a lot to be desired and stuff like that. They did King Ghidorah so dirty, and then the whole Firebird thing was the biggest tease, I say, and then oh god, I hated it, and so yeah, I love it, but yeah, I would redo that one.
How about you, Adrian?
Well, y'all know how I feel about Destroy All Monsters and Final War, so I'm agreeing with Joe. I'm be backing both of those movies easily. For the reasons Eric said too, because me and Eric we're here when it comes to that stupid fire monster and them doing Ghidorah dirty. That was just that ain't it.
Actually, you know what? That's the four of us. Me and John are with you on that one. we're with you on that one. Y'all did not have to do King Ghidorah like that. I knew you needed a bad guy, but you didn't have to curb stomp him into the ground like that. I'm sorry. That just you didn't have to. You did. And again, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna get into all of that next year when Michael, David, and a few other people talk about King Ghidorah and on his anniversary. I can't wait to talk about that. Speaking of Michael, what would you recreate or remake?
Biollante, easy.
Oh,
Biollante with modern special effects would be gorgeous. That thing would be gorgeous.
So you're saying it's not a bad movie, you just want it upgraded.
I want it. It's not a bad. No, I don't hate Biollante. I think that, but with just with an upgrade, and I think it would fit the best with the MonsterVerse. Like we all can probably kind of agree that Biollante would fit really well with the MonsterVerse. But with with a big Hollywood budget behind it, I think Biollante would be a spectacle, and that's what I would like to see.
I agree with that. Now we got 2 or 3 more questions, and then one of those questions is we're gonna name.
Joe has a comment, I think.
I just wanted to say, for the record, I don't hate Destroy All Monsters or Final Wars. I enjoy them a lot. I just think they could be even better because I think they could be the culmination of a saga. In theory of what they are. Like I enjoy them, but I think they could be Infinity War Endgame level movies if done right. Because the movies that lead into them have to be important to thread that needle of like whispering the name of Ghidorah or Thanos or whatever. Like, there's not a MacGuffin like the Infinity Gauntlet or the Infinity Stones to chase. So Ghidorah has to take that place of Thanos and the Infinity Gauntlet. So the underneath movies or the trilogy of movies or whatever has to be important. And I think it could be, is basically what I mean.
Yeah. You know what? That's the thing. You don't have to apologize or anything like that, because again, I'm sure between both our shows, we're very opinionated, and our opinion is not meant to attack other opinions. But at the same time, we are Godzilla fans. But that doesn't mean that we have to like every single thing about Godzilla. And I'm sure listen to me and John talk a few times. We're not the biggest fans of Destroy All Monsters. I mean, it's easy to say this in hindsight now. But at the same time, if that was the last Godzilla film, I don't know about y'all, but I would be severely disappointed. Yeah. I love Godzilla vs. Gigan better. I love GMK better. There's so many other films I love more to destroy all monsters. And so if that were to be the last guy, Terror Mechagodzilla is a better finale film than Destroy All Monsters, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
So, but don't feel bad about expressing your opinion, because that's what we're here for. If some people don't like that, they can't get over it, then they should watch My Little Pony. As far as all I care. But we got 2 or 3 more questions. Then we going to go into a special announcement I got towards tail end of the show. And one of those questions, again, we're going to name our top 3 favorite Gigantics overall. Okay. But again, there are a lot of characters that X Plus has not got to yet in regards to the Gigantic series. Now I'm going to talk about, or at least round off, some characters and just say yay or nay if you want to add it into your collection. Now, I know in a perfect world with unlimited resources and money and space, we want every single thing. But let's look at it from our current points of view right now, because I know that all of y'all, we're going through the same thing. We're all collectors, avid, rabid collectors, and space is not exactly a luxury that we have an overabundance of. So there's nothing wrong with saying, you know what, I want to get it, but I can't consider the space issues, or maybe you don't love it enough. Yep. But if it's a character that you want to see in the Gigantic series, you would love to have it, just say yay or nay. You know what I mean? And here are some. Hold on a second. Let me just find it. Let's see. Okay. Here are some characters that we could possibly see in the Gigantic series. And of course, Minion is not part of it. I don't know where the hell that came from. I don't know why people like get it. Like some people say, I want a gigantic minion. Like seriously, see now you're just talking. Like take just stay off social media for 3 or 4 days.
Right.
Like don't do that. Don't do that. I'm talking about serious contenders of what we might see in the X Plus Gigantic series. Okay. All right. We go down the line where to say thumbs up or thumbs down. Okay. All right. Okay. Now we do have this coming in another company, but yet still X Plus could make it next year in honor of its anniversary. A gigantic size 1984 Godzilla. Would you want to have one as the suit accurate one or the Cybot?
Oh, the
Cybot.
All the way. Please.
Both.
Suit accurate.
Both. Yeah, more so.
Both. Yes. It's a false.
Okay. All right. Next one. A gigantic size Shin Ultraman.
Without the warning light, I can't.
Yeah.
Nobody's interested?
No.
Okay.
Not over a new monster or something.
Right.
Not over something from Godzilla.
Agreed.
Okay.
If they do it as well, cool.
Good.
But if they don't do a Godzilla or a different guy, nah.
And there's other Ultramans that I would want before Shin, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay. How about this one? Shin Gomez. Come on, Eric. Come on, Joe. Where you at, Joe? Joe's the only one.
Oh, come on!
The only one.
That's the Ultra Q line.
It's a monster. I'm down.
They already did Shin Gomez. They did a giant Shin Godzilla. That's all it is.
Yeah, that's true.
Honestly, Joe, I'm with you on that one. I would get a Shin Gomez. That thing looks cool. I'm sorry. That thing looks so cool.
Before 65?
I'm not a big fan of the 65 suit. Now, if you said 66, where he looks drunk, yes, I would get give me a cocaine-induced 66.
Oh my God.
No.
All right. Okay. The next character. Final form of Hedra, 1971.
Oh, Eric! Wow. Oh, Adrian, what? Oh,
I love my 30 centimeters too much.
Joe, what you doing? Yes.
Honestly, I could go either way on it. I feel
I probably wouldn't buy it personally. I would just like to see them do it, just to see what it would look like.
Those eyes,
John. That's not surprising, because if you saw our last show involving the villains, and that question came up about overrated villains, that dude was in the chat saying Hedra. So that's not surprising. All right. Again, Just be realistic. Again, look at it from your personal space. If you have space for it, if you got them, or if you would you pony up the money for it?
Okay.
Space Godzilla. Would you do it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I would.
John's the only one.
Yeah, he's fourth.
Sorry.
No.
And I,
You saw the movie in Japan back in 1994.
But it's too big, and it's too. I can't justify it.
It would be a huge figure.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
And see, I think size and dimensions compromise sometimes the sculpts. I think that brings in limitation. He's so big. Where you gonna put it? And then do you have to curl the tail and do some stance that's not quite from the film? You know, looks.
Yeah.
The 62 might have suffered, or 64 might have suffered from that. Same thing with the 62.
62 suffers from that too.
Yeah,
Yes, it does. But then again, if it could be made like in the same vein as the Favorite Sculptor's Line Destroyer that came out, that could work.
Yeah.
That figure is big too, even though it's not technically a gigantic. But yeah, Space Godzilla, I probably pull the trigger on his fat ass. All right. This one is more likely, in likelihood, probably we will see in the future. Okay. It doesn't matter which one. You can say either one. All right. Kiryu.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would be fierce.
Which one? 2002 or 2003?
2003 Heavy Arms Edition. The all with the drill hand, all of it.
Yes. Wow, Eric. Wow.
Joe, I can't see your thumb. Like, what are you doing over there?
Oh, he's staying neutral.
Oh, he's neutral.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I love it, John. He's staying neutral.
No, I mean yes.
This ain't war.
I couldn't make it out. I'm like, are you doing gang signs over there? I don't know what you were doing.
I was so mad that Eric put his thumb down.
Okay, exactly.
I didn't even realize I had to vote.
All right. Mecha Godzilla 93. Would you do it?
I do it. I love
regular or Super Mecha Godzilla? Which one?
Super. Garuda.
You can attach it.
Yeah. So like both.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Now again, we all know the movie's a dumpster fire. We all know the movie is.
I know where you're going.
We all know that the movie. I know personally, this movie is not well liked by any of us in this chat right now. But going by the design of the monster, would you do it? 2004 Godzilla. Would you do it?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
100%.
If they get that thing
Final
just right.
Wars, so
Yeah, it's a good suit, dude.
It is a good suit. Yeah.
Some of the small
Gigantic.
not been right.
Well, he's already gigantic.
I'm already gigantic. Just ask my wife. Anyway, so. Okay, it's a family show. Let's keep it family friendly. Okay, all right.
We're talking about your gut, not your ass.
I know, right? All right. Heisei gigantic Ultraman. Would you do it?
Yes.
Which one would it be? Tiga, Dinah?
I love Tiga.
Tiga.
Kanye West. Who?
Give me a little Eiji Saburai figure to go along with him from those final that second to last.
yeah.
Third to last.
Come on, Michael. Where you at? What you doing? What you doing, Michael?
Wow.
No. Okay. Okay.
Michael, you're lucky this is Leslie's chat, not Monsters with Attitude. I'm really thinking right now, okay?
Okay. Two more and that's it.
Okay.
I think this is like an no-brainer. And it doesn't matter which one. You can pick whatever you want. Gamera. A gigantic Gamera.
Oh
Yeah. I want the original.
Oh,
What year? What year? John, go.
Oh.
What year?
Oh, Gamera Invincible. What year was that? 65.
Five.
Yeah.
Joe, which one?
Oh,
Also, you know what? You can include Rebirth if you want to.
Oh, wow.
Toto, 2006.
Are you serious?
You know why?
He
He said I use.
You just said I could include any of them.
Where's the punchline at? I'm waiting for the punchline. Where is it?
The Gamera we see at the beginning, the Advent.
Oh, that one. Okay.
So I think that's cool.
Ooh, you almost got me there. You almost got me on that one. I'm about to say, because again, we had this minion conversation earlier, and now your butt don't choose Toto. All right, Eric, where you at? What year?
The best Gamera movie out of all, 96, Advent of Legion, man.
Yes, it is. It is.
Legion it is top.
How about you, Adrian?
I've got a Gamera.
I'm actually going with 95 Gamera.
Okay. Okay.
Well, I know technically we're getting this anyway, but I'm gonna go Nightmare Gamera.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yes.
I want a giant Nightmare Gamera.
That's
What
awesome.
do you mean we're getting
Someone
that?
doing that?
Who's doing it?
We're getting a defo reel. We're getting the defo reel.
Oh,
So
the
we're
defo reel.
technically getting a Nightmare Gamera. But
That's true.
If I had to pick one, I'm going with 1966 from Barugon. That's my favorite.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Now, 96 is a 1.5 for me, but I would. It's something about the 66. He looks menacing, even though he's the de facto baby face,
Yeah.
So I would do the 1966. Oh, and this last one. This is a doozy.
Oh Jesus.
oh boy,
I think you know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, you know what? I think we all gonna give a thumbs up on this one, and I'm already giving a thumbs up right now. It doesn't matter what movie he was in, but still the character. Damagen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
that gets two.
I love that.
Yeah. In all stories.
Joe, don't piss me off. Don't do it.
My thumbs up. My thumbs up.
No, I saw you. No, I saw you. I saw you with the gang sign. You were like,
I was hyping the suspense. Yeah,
Okay.
no, for sure. That'd be cool.
okay.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
All right. That's it. That's it with what I want to ask y'all, but thank y'all. So again, I think those are probably some characters that we could definitely see in a gigantic series at some point, and as you can see here, they will make buku money if they would choose any one of them.
Oh,
Easy. So especially that Damagen, like I would love a gigantic size Damagen. And the thing about Damagen, he won't be too expensive, like like Godzilla or maybe even Mecha Godzilla, right? He would be, because the gigantic Ultraman, they're more humanoid form like Damagen, and they're not really expensive. So that could actually work. All right, 2-3 more questions, and then we'll go towards the tail end of the show. But all right. What is the one gigantic that you always wanted X Plus to make, but they never did at this point?
This is a sidebot.
Easy.
I want a sidebot, and I want a 74. A perfect. Now I'm so grateful for the MM28 FSL, but I would love to see a 74 in the gigantic.
okay.
How about you, Joe?
Grand King Ghidorah from Mothra 3.
Jesus.
Oh God, that'd be a big boy.
Oh boy, it can be done if they can do that. They can do it.
Ooh, that'd be a big boy. That'd be a big boy.
Big monster.
How about you, Eric?
I'm gonna take it just a step up above John's and give me a 75. That's my favorite suit.
Oh yeah, that would look awesome.
Yeah, that's true. How about you, Adrian?
I'm biased. I'm the sidebar 85 easily. Ever since I've seen that poster for the first time, I've been in love with that suit. So the sidebar 85.
Yeah. Hey, can I add something real quick to the 74? And the Rick version, he come painted with the blood and the Mecha Godzilla's missiles, and you could pop them out, man. And a couple of the, the big towers, electrical towers, man.
Yes, Lord. Preach, sir.
You might see it next year. You never know. We might see it next year.
74, easy. Because I want a screen accurate 74 to go with my gigantic Mechagodzilla.
You were right.
Okay, let's see. I'm gonna blow myself up for this next one for my answer, and I know Michael's gonna feel me on this because we're like on the same page when it comes to this franchise. But the one gigantic I wanted to make and they never did, and it pissing me off that they didn't do it. I've always wanted, since they done this, a gigantic size Dragon Zord or Dragon Caesar.
Yes.
Oh,
I mean,
It is a shame that they didn't follow up on this line. And the reason why they didn't follow up because it wasn't enough interest in the Sentai robotic line. But they could at least done a gigantic Dragon Caesar or Dragon Zord.
Is that the one you're shipping to me, Leslie? Is that the one?
Yeah. As soon as that check clears, you can have it.
Leslie, I have deeper pockets than Michael. Sell it to me.
I thought you were gonna will it to me after you died, but
I'll tell you what, I'll put it in my will. As a matter of fact, I'll put you and Joe in my will, and then y'all have to have a Thunderdome death match for it.
Yes!
2 men enter, 1 man leaves. and here's a small caveat to that. Adrian, you have to dress up like Tina Turner and sing to both of them as they fight to the death. We don't need another hero. We need a hero. Oh God, having too much fun here. But yeah, but it's a shame. Like again, Michael, I think the timing of this release was kind of off because this came out
in 2016.
2016. And the Power Rangers movie came out in 2017, the reboot.
2017.
Yeah, 2017. And there was so much nostalgia around Power Rangers and the old shows. Like, they should have waited a year and put this out. And I guarantee you there would have been more interest.
Yeah.
It would have been more interest.
It would have been, and I would have been able to get it because I started collecting in 2017. No, I'm really shocked that they did not do like a Rick exclusive for the 30th anniversary.
That's
like,
the thing.
That franchise has gone on for 30 years. Like now would be, and people are actually buying stuff like that. Like you look at all the crap that Hasbro puts out. Like it's all MMPR stuff and like the original series. Like that would be perfect. Do a limited run of it. Put it up on the Rick site as a Rick only exclusive. People would have bought it, and then we would at least had another chance instead of paying like $2,000 for it that people want for it now.
Honestly, I would have done both a Rick and standard of this release because this was just a Rick exclusive. Have the standard come with just the Megazord and have the Rick come with the weapons, with the Mastodon shield and the sword, or maybe even
but that breaks it. Like the Rick, if you're gonna do that 2 versions of that thing, it's got to be. I hate light ups, but light ups for robots makes sense. Yeah. Light ups for Godzilla, I don't want those anymore. I'd rather have like glow in the dark.
But again, all the Super Sentai, or at least the Power Rangers Megazords that they could have done, Ninja Megazord, Thunder Megazord, Astro Megazord, Shogun Megazord. Like there were so many awesome Zords and Megazords that they could have done. Like I said, Dragon Zord. Like I would have killed for a Dragon Zord, but I think that was a missed opportunity, and they screwed the pooch on that, in my opinion. But
they did.
They did.
It's a shame. It is a shame that they didn't follow up on the line because that is one of the rarer. If I'm not mistaken, that's one of the rarer Gigantics to get your hands on, or one of the rarer figures in general to get your hands on. Because they just didn't do it. I don't know why they didn't follow up to it. But a giant Dairin O from Die Ranger, would be beautiful.
Absolutely. And it's a shame. Okay, final 2 questions. Name your top 3 Gigantics, no matter what they are. Rick exclusive. It don't matter. Name your top 3 Gigantics in your collection. You can do it from your most favorite to your least favorite, or your least favorite to your most favorite. But it's up to you. What are your top 3 Gigantics that you currently? Well, here's the thing: whether you have them or not. Let's just say if you have them, fine. If you don't have them, if they were in front of you, if all the Gigantics were in front of you, what 3 are you picking? Okay, if that makes sense. Okay, what are your top 3 Gigantics in your opinion? John, go.
Starting from 3 to 1, I'm going with the favorite sculptors line 54, number 3. Shin Godzilla, number 2. The original, I would love the open mouth purple, whatever, the variations. I just couldn't afford it. Too much space. And number 1, without a doubt, is Mecha Godzilla.
How about you, Joe?
Number 3 is the 89. Number 2 is actually one that I don't own. It's but Eric has it. It's the Shin. And then number 1 is
which one? Which Shin? Which Shin? Because it's like 18 of them. Which one?
Which one was that?
It's the original, the newer clear
The red one.
translucent.
The
Yeah.
version.
Okay.
And number 1 is the burning.
How about you, Eric?
So number 3 will be Shin.
Which one?
Just because the
Which
one
one?
that I have, actually,
Okay.
the one that I have is actually perfect. I think it just pops all the red underneath the black and everything with that translucent vinyl and stuff like that. It's perfect. It sucks because I tried to get the other ones and I just at the time didn't have money. And so this one, luckily, they released a 6th wave of it, and I was finally able to get one. But I think this is probably one of the better ones, just because that red just pops so much more, and it looks like real skin and stuff like that with that translucent color. So I do love it. I'm so glad I got that one. But yeah, that one. And then number 2 would be Mecha Godzilla, and then number 1 is 89, of course. So.
Awesome.
Go for it, A.
I'll have to say 1989, number 3, favorite sculpture line 54, number 2, and number 1, the real clear shade.
Okay. How about you, Mike?
My number 3 is one that I don't currently own, and I know it's on the smaller side, so I'm gonna do the orange dorsal spines 2000 or the 99.
That's a good choice.
Number 2 is the 89. Number 1 is Mechagodzilla, and I think there's a little bit of feedback coming from me. It threw me off a little
Please
bit.
don't know.
You're fine. You're fine now. Okay. You say it again because the echo kind of got. To me.
Okay. Right. Number 3 is one I don't own, which is the gigantic 99 with the orange spines.
Team Orange. Okay.
Team Orange, right. I like the orange spine version. Number 2 is the 89. Number 1 is Mechagodzilla.
Okay. My top 3, and this was hard even for me. And I wanted to put the Megazord in there. I really do. But and I know this is not going to sit well with the pretty much all of y'all, because I know that I'm on the island by myself when it comes to this. But number 3, I have to give it to him. Number 3, let me blow my fat ass up. Number 3, Kong. Number 3, Kong.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I actually forgot about him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So number 3 is Kong. Number 2, the gigantic purple Shin from the Godzilla store. That's number 2. And number 1 is the 89. That is the 64 is not in it because, again, I had to look at it from an objective point of view. I had to take my love from the 64 out of it and be objective and be honest with myself. And it fell way, way down, despite how, it's cool in some aspects. But those 3 are my top 3 favorite Gigantics. And the last question, and again, thank you all for being here and everybody in the chat for chiming in with your comments as well. Sorry I can't get to them because I'm doing everything all at one time here. And just be brutally honest about this. You can still be brutally honest and still be respectful and all that good stuff. I don't think anybody's gonna come up here and be overly malicious, but be real honest with this next question. Now, with all the great Gigantics that X Plus has done over the years, 10 years at this point, you know what I'm saying? GMK, 95, 89, Shin 64, Mechagodzilla 2019, 1999, and of course the potential of future characters they could introduce in the future. Of course, you heard about, the 2002, or seen the 2002. Of course, they mentioned the show a guy again that they were going to do at some point. We haven't seen anything from that yet, but there's potential for them to do more. However, 10 years ago, there was no Spiral Studios. There was no Omega Beast. There was no any of these other companies producing large, gigantic size pieces like this. So everything has changed. The market has changed. And unfortunately, X Plus is not the only game in town anymore. So, for the longest time, everybody was waiting for the next gigantic series announcement from X Plus. Nowadays, they're not the only game in town anymore, and other people are doing the exact same thing, if not better in certain cases. So X Plus is not the hot item anymore. But at the same time, they still produce some great stuff. But in your personal opinion, do you feel the best days of the X Plus Gigantic series are behind us, or do you think they have more great days to come with future projects that they could do? Do you think the bloom is off the rose, so to speak? You think the X Plus, we've had our fun and now it's time not necessarily move on, but do you think that, and not exactly like their yesterday's news, but do you think that Are their best days behind them or in front of them? John, go.
No, because Alexis is always Alexis. I think they have plenty more they can do, and I would imagine will do. I mean, they have their stability and size in terms of all the lines they have. It's just a matter of time. What I do love is they're showing the range in the Maniac line, Defo line, what the possibilities could be. And where the other companies are stepping into spirals, etc. The reason why I think X Plus might always be there's still best days are yet still to come. I think because everyone else is basically catching up, trying imitating to a certain extent.
Yeah.
It's maybe the price point in some regards still. X Plus. It's hard to get a gigantic that's over $700. Shipping is a beast by itself, so it's hard. It's difficult, and resin is difficult if it's in resin. That's so it depends on what it is and who's making it, and and who's the sculptor and what But X Plus is always going to be in the game.
How about you, Joe? How do you feel?
I think competition is a great thing for business. When you are not competitive and you don't have somebody nipping at your heels, you get complacent and you put out crap quality. I think that X Plus will always be king. I think Spiral and Omega Beast or Easy Hobby, mad respect to them. I wish them luck. They are not king. They will never be king. X Plus is king. And there's a reason for that. It's because of decades of putting out products. It's easy to come out and be a flash in the pan. And I don't think the other companies are. I think that they will be around, and I think they put out good product. But to be the man, you got to beat the man. And I don't think they've beaten X Plus. I think that their products have been great. But if I'm being honest with you, I think the price point for what we're paying for X Plus with the sizes and stuff, and a $500, $600, $700, $800 X Plus is just as good as a $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 figure by Spiral or Easy Hobby. So until they figure out how to balance these prices a little bit more, X Plus is always going to be king. And again, it's not a knock to any of these other companies or anybody that works with them or promotes with them or anything. All respect to all of them, but to be the man, you got to beat the man. And X Plus is, X Plus is the man. If only there was somebody we could borrow a belt from. But anyways,
and don't get me wrong. See the versatility of X Plus with bringing in other sculptors and other companies and running their product under the FSL line is genius. Yeah, because what someone else may produce that looks beautiful, but they can't quite get it to market, X Plus will deliver it.
That's true. That's true.
We don't want their heyday to be over. They are the foundation of and they hold the building together. They're the cornerstone of the building that we shopping in.
We gotta put a mute on John because he's taking all my answers right now. Like, good lord, man.
Sorry, I gotta mute myself.
No, I'm just kidding. No, but you're right. You are absolutely right. Like, the things that they can do, especially with their FSL line, there is so many kits that are out there that people do not have access to, or they don't have the God-given talent to put them together and make them come to life. X Plus is doing something that no one's doing, and it's genius. It really is. I mean, that Destroyer is by far the best thing I've seen in a very long time. And it came from a kit, but they were like, hey, we love your stuff. We want to reissue it under our brand and stuff like that. But you're still going to get the props, and when everybody gets to see your work, like they're also advertising for these companies on their products also.
Right.
And so everybody can see, hey, this is what they're doing. This is their possibilities. Like, it's crazy. It really is. So I love that. Like, I hoped, and that's one of the things with X Plus is that they could go on for a very long time with this gigantic line, because they can start throwing these kits into their line and stuff like that and do FSL gigantics. And they have a backlog for decades, honestly, and they can still bring out new stuff, because obviously we're getting new content with new monsters, with new shows and movies and stuff like that. They can just keep doing that kind of stuff. But like Joe said, like they are king. Like no one, like there are other companies that are trying to nip at their heels and stuff like that, but it's different because they're bringing different products at different price points and different sizes and stuff like that. But for the size you get, for the price you get, for the quality that you get, it's unbeatable. It really is. Like it's untouchable. Like these things are, an average price of a gigantic is maybe $500. Okay. And you get the same quality as these other companies and stuff like that, and you don't have to pay $2, $3, $4, $5,000 for them and stuff like that. Yeah, they're cool and they're flashy and we love it and we want it, but like, let's be realistic. Like, unless you're a millionaire, we can't get those kind of things. Like, we go more bang for our buck. And yeah, X Plus is going to be around for a very long time. They're going to be doing this for a very long time. I think they did get complacent for a very long time because nobody was really doing anything for them. That's why we saw a lot of re-releases and stuff, which gets really boring. It's like, no, we've seen 6 releases for Shin. It's understandable. He is popular. I get it. And I'm thankful for it that they got the 6 releases, because I finally was able to get one. But like, it just gets old. It gets stagnant. And, it gets boring. And we want new stuff. We want to see new stuff. And so we saw that 02 Godzilla, but we haven't seen anything for a long time now. So I don't know if it's just they're just trying to reschedule everything or replan out everything what they want to do because of these other companies coming up and giving them competition and everything. I don't know. But they really still have to keep their foot on the gas and keep going with this line to make sure they still stay in front, which I do think they will. But they still got to put out other products and other monsters, Godzillas and stuff that we haven't seen that we really want. So sorry, long-winded, but
that's awesome. Could I add something to it? Just an analogy, a metaphor. When you go to the mall, well, we don't really go to malls that much anymore, but malls are built around the classic super department stores like Sears and JCPenney and Boscov's and Macy's and everything else. They're great shops, but when you're ready, especially our parents back in the day, you went to the big stores, and X Plus is the big store. And if we need for the whole mall to hold together, you need those big stores to survive. And they made space for everybody else. And I know I can still go to the over this shop and still get the same pair of jeans that they were selling down to Nike store, but I can get them at Macy's too. I'm just saying.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true. How do you feel, Adrian?
Honestly, I agree with what everyone has said so far. We can't really say that X Plus is getting left in the dust really when X Plus is still thriving, especially now that they're getting into the FSL line with Gigantics too. That's like Eric said, that episode Destroyer, that thing's incredible. We're getting the Burning Godzilla with that. Like, there's just so much more that X Plus can do from here on out that can keep them still the kings of the castle, basically, because like y'all said, price is everything. And as much as we do love Spiral, Easy Hobby, things like that, even the what's the other company? I'm drawing a blank. The studios who's doing the Space Godzilla and 94 Godzilla.
XM Studio, yeah,
XM Studios. There it goes. But like I said, like, we can't really afford to get stuff with that, like prices like that all the time, because we're not super duper rich.
Yeah, that's true.
We got our wallets ain't balling like that. So if I can get a $500-$600 X Plus figure over $1,000 figure, I'm easily gonna go for the X Plus one. And yeah, they did get complacent with all the re-releases we got, but that could say that we're gonna get a lot of great stuff down the road due to us being able to have that time before those reissues come out for them to get that extra money to bring out more products that we're looking for.
That's true.
Yeah, the reissues do fund some of the new stuff that we're gonna get. And everybody stole my answers, so I'm just gonna keep mine short. I don't think X Plus. I don't think the gigantic line is dead. I got a little worried there for a little bit because they just kept reissuing stuff over and over and over. And then I remember when the Destroya was announced. I know Eric, Joe, Adrian, and I were all talking like that thing's going to be $1,200. Like we were expecting that thing to be expensive.
Yeah, that's a monster.
So when they came out at what was it, Eric? $750? Was it $750? Is when it came like retail finally.
I think like 8 plus shipping, which was like $300 though.
Right. Yeah. So when they came out with that thing at a super quote unquote affordable price. Like we're like, okay, so this is something X Plus can do. Like they can keep those prices lower, and if you want to pay $1,200 if you want to pay like super expensive prices for the XM and the Spiral, well, Spiral's not too terrible with their pricing, but if you want to go shop at those other shops, that's fine. But X Plus is still king because they can still keep those prices low, and like Joe said, and like everybody else said, competition breeds. What is the old analogy? I'm blanking right now. Like a rising tide raises all ships or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I like competition. Like I like the fact that there's like the Easy Hobbies around. I like that Spiral's around, XM, Iron Studios, etc. But X Plus is still going to always be king just because of that price point that they can deliver and still deliver quality. So, yeah.
That's right. Bandai is the parent company.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that
they got Bandai money now, boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
I agree. I mean, all y'all pretty much said what I was going to say, and I agree with every single one. But I do see it on both sides. I won't say the gigantic line is dead. I kind of lean towards that maybe their days or best days are behind it, because I think in a sense that now when there's a gigantic series announcement, mind you, it's a big deal. But I remember back in the day, like I said earlier in the show, that when the 95 was announced after the GMK, like everybody was going crazy. Like seriously, like we didn't even see any pictures of it yet, and we was like, wow, gigantic Desugoji. And then we were all speculating what the next one was going to be, the 99. Then came the King Goji and the 54, and of course Shin Godzilla came out right at the height of Shin Godzilla's popularity. I think that thrill is gone because again, X Plus is not the only game in town anymore. You have other people doing not the exact same thing, but doing something similar. So X Plus kind of like gets lost in the pack a little bit in regards to similar stuff being thrown out at the same time because the market is super saturated at this point. And I still do miss those days, but that doesn't mean the S Plus is like way down the line because they were the innovators. They were the ones that started this gigantic series craze to a certain extent where it's kind of like become the in thing to get a gigantic now because before then they just did 25 centimeters and 30 centimeters. There was no Favorite Sculptors line back in 2013. There was no Defo reels. There wasn't anything what we got now because S Plus has exploded over time. But when they did the gigantics, it was like, wow, they're going bigger now. So that was a wonderful thing. But at the same time, I am getting tired of the reissues. Like, with all due respect to people who didn't get them the first time around, that's good for them. But for people like me and old heads like me, we want to see something new. And there are a lot of characters that they can do that can inject new blood into the gigantic series. And I think they will do that, especially again with all the anniversaries coming out next year. There's so many stuff that they can do. And I'm pulling for them. But again, maybe because again I'm torn because I love this series, but at the same time they didn't produce a gigantic size 84 yet. They didn't produce a gigantic suit accurate GMK yet, but yet other companies have. So there's also that going on. You know what I mean? but I'm not ready to throw in the towel with them yet. They still got some life. They just have to inject new characters, and there's so many characters they can do, and especially non-Godzilla. Like, I know we love Godzilla, but again, give us that guy again you talked about several years ago. Give us I know, Joe, you're gonna hate this when I say this, but maybe give us a gigantic size Gargantua or something like that, or like there's so many other characters they can do that could generate them some money. But
the thing that's kind of bugged me about not necessarily X Plus, but the market is so saturated with so much choice now that the reason why I feel like X Plus has been falling flat, particularly with the Gigantics line, is I think that it just takes a lot for them to wow people now. Like it just it just requires them to do something really special for people to pay attention. I just don't think that people have really been. I don't think people have wrote them off, but I don't think they've really they've not given us the wow factor in a while.
Yeah. Right. It's like the T-Rex in Jurassic World. It's like, wow, okay, it's a T-Rex. We saw it 20 years ago. So it's that. And plus a lot of people out there, including us, we can be spoiled sometimes. I'm not above saying that. But we say this from a place where we want to see this line succeed. We want to see them again inject new ideas, and we're all full of ideas, and X Plus has been good when it comes to listening to the fan base. So I will give them that. They've been real on top of that. But time will tell. But for the past 10 years, I've had a wonderful time with the Gigantic series. Again, all the Gigantics I have, or Gigantics I know that y'all have, it's just they command a presence. When you walk into your room, I guarantee you one of the first pieces you're drawn to is a Gigantic. Mm-hmm. In my case, 95, Shin, Megazord, 99, or Kong, or something like that. That's what they do. They command your attention. So if nothing else, if the X Plus Gigantic series is famous for anything, then they're famous for introducing these products that, again, have upped the wow factor, you know what I'm saying? That have upped, just your attention when it comes to collecting, even when it comes to people that you invite to your room for the first time. How many times have you done that? And the first thing they go to is a Gigantic. Like, wow, that thing is big. What is that? You know what I mean?
That's what she said.
Yep. Yep. But to put a bow on this conversation, because we're running towards the end, I think we all love the X Plus Gigantic series. We have had fun collecting these figures, and we're hoping the party training has not stopped or not going to stop anytime soon, because we have had a fun time collecting these awesome Gigantic size treasures. So again, if anybody from X Plus is watching, we thank you so much for doing what y'all do. Please keep up the good work. And as you heard from us, a Gigantic Cyber 84, a Damagen, a Gamera, just a Shin Gomez, something
minus one.
Minus one. You'll get our money. You'll get our money. Robert Dwyer in the chat said a Gigantic 68. That's another one.
Absolutely.
So again, thank you so much. And I want to thank all of y'all, John, Joe, Eric, Adrian, Michael, for being here for this discussion. And that's pretty much going to wrap up this discussion involving the Gigantic series. But before we get up out of here, there's a couple ideas that I want to do involving our respective shows come next year. Because again, next year, bonkers when it comes to anniversaries. 54, 70 years. Mothra vs. Godzilla, Ghidorah 3-Headed Monster, 60 years. Mecha Godzilla, 74, 50 years. 84, 40 years. Space Godzilla, 30 years. Final Wars, we're not going to worry about that. 2014, 10 years. No, seriously. And also 25 years, the 25th anniversary of Gamera 3 and Godzilla 1999, 2000 Millennium. So there are lots of stuff to look forward to. But I want for our shows, because I think we're at a point right now where we can do more collaborations with each other. And we can give you these great shows and topics. Now, we're all going to do that in our individual channels, whatever. But every now and then, I think we should come together. And I propose we do this like once every quarter, once every 4 months come next year, 2024. So the shows will be special. It's not like we get together all the time. So it has to be special, right? And it's going to be a concept.
It's always special.
It's always special. But it's a concept that I call collect all monsters with attitude versus, where we're going to come together We're going to do 4 shows. I'm proposing 4 shows, 2 that we hosted on the Collect All Monsters channel, and the other 2 will be on the Monster with Attitude channel. And we're going to talk about 2 opposing topics, whether it be movies or monsters or whatever, and you're going to get our take. You may have the Collect All Monsters on one side and the Monster with Attitude on the other side, or you may have some integration between the 2. You may have some members of Collect All Monsters and Monster with Attitude on the same page, and the other members not on the same page. It's all to provide y'all with wholesome, in air quotes, some wholesome content, because again, we're all opinionated. We all stand by our opinions, but at the same time, we're all for giving y'all some great shows. Now, a few topics that I have suggested to my colleagues, and they have been really receptive of that. Hopefully, y'all will be too. Is again, a lot of birthdays and anniversaries are being celebrated next year. So, what I propose in this versus concept between Collect All Monsters and Monster with Attitude is these concepts. Number 1, we're going to compare the original 1954 Godzilla up against the return of Godzilla 1984. Real quick, right off the bat, just give me just your one answer. We ain't got to go into it because we're going to go into in depth on the show when the time comes. Because again, I know a lot of people don't really like to compare anything to the 54 because they hold it so high on the pedestal, and that is perfectly fine. However, I do believe that 84/85 has some things going for it that makes it superior to the 54, but that's just my opinion. I'm sure I'm not the only one that feels that way. But here we are, right fast, couple things right fast. 54, 84. In your opinion, what was the better Godzilla suit? 54 or 84?
Oh God, the suit? Jesus, Leslie.
I know.
The suit of the movie.
I'm not going first.
No, we're going for the suits. Come on, John.
I'm not saying.
You know what? I'll start us off. I'll say 54 because 84 looks high all the damn time.
That's just a little bit, Michael. How dare you?
That's low. You know what, Adrian, go for it. What do you think? 54 or 84?
1984, easy. It has that menacing look of a Shore-esque suit, and it was a perfect transition between the 75 and 84. From the Shore to the Heisei era, it was a perfect transition.
Oh my God, this is terrible.
How about you, Joe? Where you at?
85.
Thank you, Joe.
All right. What was it? 2 84s and 154? Eric, where you at?
Oh my God.
There's only one correct answer. It's
hard because I think of the movies when I think of this, so I almost have a biased opinion right off the bat.
Come on, Felicia.
This is. I'll say 84.
Wow.
Okay, John, come on.
I used to hate 84 for years. 85, because that's what I kind of came up on.
Yeah.
And maybe over the last 7 years, 84 just slowly just like, this is awesome. In terms of suits, I do love 84.
There's a butt coming.
Yeah, there's a big
There's a butt coming.
I'm good out of just what I like 84 ultimately, but in the context, 54 still king, but I do like, if it's just asking me which one, I really want 84.
Yeah.
Is 84? Is it 84?
Yeah.
It's 84.
John, there is nothing wrong with choosing something over the 54. There's nothing wrong with that.
It's okay, John.
I know there's some 54 purists out there, and they just have to build a bridge and get the hell over it. But at the same time, there is nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that. And I agree with y'all. 84, in my opinion, is the better suit over 54. Next rapid fire question. Who do you find more interesting as a character between both movies? Dr. Yamane from 54 or Dr. Hayashida from 84?
Yamane, hands down.
Joe, go.
No contest.
Don't sell Hayashida short now. Don't sell him short now.
I know.
Yamane.
Eric, are you about to cry over there? You about to cry?
Oh my God.
He is.
These are not easy. These are not easy.
These are just the rough draft questions. This not even the show yet.
This is terrible. 54. What was the name?
Yamane.
Yamane. Yeah, I'll go with him.
Hey, you better agree with him, otherwise he'll kick you out of the house. Just saying. He'll kick you out the house. How about you, Adrian? Where you at?
Gonna have to say Dr. Yubani.
Michael, where you at?
Yamane.
Yeah.
So it's a landslide with Yamane.
It's got so much depth.
Yeah.
Let's see.
You're gonna be that one.
I'll probably be that one, but the one I gravitate more to the most, and they're both are different animals, right? Yamane is all about researching the creature, even at the expense of people dying as a result. You know, Hayashida approached it from like his parents were killed by Godzilla. He wants to study it. I mean, I guess in a way they kind of feel like the same way. They want to study the creature to prevent him from killing people. But I'm probably gonna go with the one I felt had more sympathy for Godzilla at the end of the day, and it's neck and neck. But for me, I'm going with Hayashida. I felt like he wanted to. He didn't want to kill Godzilla. He wanted to send him home. In so many words, he Yamane. I think once Yamane saw what Godzilla did to Tokyo for the second time, I think at that point he was like, you know what, kill him. You know what?
There will be another looking down.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, yeah, seeing people dying and children going to orbits, I think even Yamane turned the corner and was like, you know what? I don't agree with it, but you know what? He has to go. But Hayashida, in my opinion, was more so sympathetic because again, Godzilla in '84, in my opinion. He was not demonic like 54. In 54, in the Tokyo attack scene, you can literally see this Godzilla looking for people to kill, looking for people to attack, looking for places. He just like he'll advance, he stops, he surveys. He's like, you know what? I got the whole scene to myself. What can I trash?
Did you see -1 already?
John, I love you, but John, you got one more time to say something about -1, or I'm gonna try to Philly and kick you in the face if you don't just. But again, I'm going with Hayashida. Okay, all right. Let's speed this up right fast. The second topic I want to talk about, and Michael, don't hate me when I say this, please don't. But the Battle of the 64s.
I can never.
What was the better movie from 1964? And Robert Dwyer, don't hate me because we're not covering Dogora. I'm sorry, we're not doing that on this show. I'm sorry. But what was the better Godzilla movie from 1964? Monster vs. Godzilla or Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster? We're going to compare those two. Rapid fire real quick. Who was the better villain in their respective story? Godzilla and Monster vs. Godzilla or King Ghidorah and Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster? Michael, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry.
You ain't making fun now, huh?
You going with Ghidorah?
Yeah.
You going with Ghidorah? Okay.
Yes.
Joe, where you at?
Ghidorah.
Why you saying like y'all got Tourette's? Why y'all saying y'all got Tourette syndrome? Ghidorah. Like, okay.
Well, no, okay. I said it, and then he goes, say it again. He didn't hear you. Say it again.
He got that switchblade on him, doesn't he? He's sticking you with the switchblade, ain't he?
Yeah. I'm going with Ghidorah too.
So it's 3 Ghidorah so far?
Mm-hmm.
Man, y'all ain't showing Godzilla no type of love. Adrian, where you at on this?
I'm not gonna be disrespectful like everybody else says. Godzilla.
Michael, where you at?
Michael's heart's broken right now.
Michael, please don't let me down. Please don't let me down.
Yeah, I told you it's not easy.
Come on, Michael. You know what right thing to do.
I take back what I said. I do hate you, Leslie. You know, I'm gonna go with Ghidorah.
I'll be damned.
Yep.
He said, I'll be damned. I'll be damned.
I'll be damned.
Games destroyed the
Disrespect.
Okay. I will say only because the stakes were a little higher in Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster.
That's right.
Let's see.
There's a bigger threat.
It took for the larvae to forgive Godzilla for killing his mother to come together.
In this case, I'm gonna go with the monster that was probably more feared. I'm going with Godzilla on this one. I think he was more feared. Even when Godzilla's not on screen, when people talk about Godzilla and Mothra versus Godzilla, they're like, no. With Ghidorah, it's different. Now, mind you, Ghidorah, he was feared, don't get me wrong, but he kind of came out of nowhere. Nobody knew anything about Ghidorah, so it's probably not really that fair in that sense. If Ghidorah had been around like Godzilla was, maybe it would have been different. But I'm going, what's presented in the movie, I'm going with the monster who was more feared, in my opinion, that's Godzilla. One last rapid fire question, just name the movie. Which movie had the better Ifukube score?
Oh boy.
John, don't give me that look, bro.
Minus
Don't give me that look.
-1.
-1.
That's it. I'm going to Philly. Y'all take over the show. I'll see y'all later.
He's coming, John. Run!
You lucky I ain't got no gas money because
you already knew that. You already knew that, right? Because you saw the CD. Everybody saw the track titles, right?
No. Again, John.
But you saw the trailers.
I saw the trailers, but again, I've been kind of like Kyle, where I've been trying to turn a blind eye to the stuff until I see it, and you're not making it any better. So I mean this with so much love and respect I have for you. Shut the hell up. Just answer the question. Which one is it? Mothra versus Godzilla or Ghidorah Three-Headed Monster? Who had the better Ifukube score?
I'll give Mothra that one.
Mothra.
Yeah. But just wait.
Mothra.
Joe, where you at? Ghidorah?
Mothra.
Oh, Mothra. Okay.
Mothra.
I'm Ghidorah.
Man, you a punk. Adrian, where you at?
Mothra, easy.
Michael?
-1.
Well, actually, you know what?
We all just said it.
You know what? West Virginia is closer, so I'm gonna see you in a couple hours.
Hey, you gotta come down you're coming down for Christmas, aren't you?
Yeah, I'll be there for Christmas, and I'm gonna cut your ass. I'm telling you.
I know. Sandra's family only lives like 2 hours from me, or maybe less than that.
Yeah. We're gonna come down and bring some blueberry muffins and a can of whoop ass, and we just gave away our last blueberry muffin.
Mothra versus Godzilla has the better score.
Yeah.
I agree. Mothra versus Godzilla. All right. The next topic we're going to talk about. I don't have a rapid fire question for this because we haven't seen the movie yet. But what is the
-1?
What is the definitive movie of the Reiwa era thus far? Shin Godzilla or -1? Again, we haven't seen the movie of -1 yet, but I want to talk about the differences and maybe the similarities between the two films. And which film do you look at as like the definitive movie from the Reiwa era? I mean, not counting the anime, version of Godzilla, but the live action. Which movie is better, -1 or Shin? And the last one I want to talk about. We're going to compare these two monsters celebrating anniversaries next year, milestone anniversaries. Ghidorah Three-Headed Monster versus Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 1974. We're going to pit Mechagodzilla up against King Ghidorah. In your opinion, who was the better villain, the better space monster? Overall, in their film, Ghidorah or Mechagodzilla? John, I already know, but go for it anyway.
Mechanical marvel. But let me say about, that was the easy one for Mecha. Shin Godzilla, in a way, for Japan, is a deeper connection in certain ways, but -1. Yamazaki knew that the bar was so high with Shin Godzilla that he knew he had to meet it, and if he could exceed it, he's exceeded it. Absolutely. But there's still two different genres in a sense. But he's rocked it. I can't wait to hear you guys you might Shin Godzilla kind of divided the community in some ways.
Yep.
I don't think -1 will, and because it'll live up. I think it'll just be like, wow, what did I just see? I think I remember hearing that coming out of Toho cinemas in 2016 after. We all kind of went into our separate theaters at 12:30, whatever it was. And when they came out, what did I just see? And I was like, oh, snaps. I was tripping because I was all emotional. -1, man, I can't wait to hear how you all respond. I just can't.
And you will hear it come next weekend because I might come up here live after we watch it next Saturday and talk about it. Yeah, we're definitely going to talk about it. But you said Mechagodzilla. Joe, who'd you say? Ghidorah? Did you say Ghidorah? Eric, where you at? Mechagodzilla or Ghidorah?
I'm gonna go with the cosmic monster.
All right, we got 2 Mechagodzillas, 1 Ghidorah. Adrian, where you stand?
The bionic monster.
Yes.
See what I'm saying? See that right there? Right there? Okay. All right. Knowing that we don't use that title because it got sued over it, but okay, it's the bionic monster. It's the bionic monster. Whatever. Where you at, Michael, on this one?
-1.
That's going to be everyone's answer after a while. For every question.
Why do you think he's always in the doghouse, Leslie? Why do you think he's always in the doghouse on our channel?
Guess what my answer is going to be? Misdemeanor, felony, 187, assault and battery, assassination.
Mechagodzilla, Leslie. Mechagodzilla. You already knew what my answer was going to be.
Yeah, I kind of figured that. But then again, you're going to be part of our Ghidra episode. I thought maybe Ghidra might be up there.
I can love both. Can I not love both?
That's right.
Yeah. So how many Mechagodzillas is it? It's John, it's Eric, it's Adrian said the bionic monster, whatever. And Michael. So that's 4 Mechagodzillas.
Adrian doesn't count.
Oh, God. He does count. He does count. Even though he's in Chicago right now in the alley somewhere. But he does count. But Joe, you know what? I don't care if you and I are in the minority. I'm with you. King Ghidorah. I mean, I love Mechagodzilla, but King Ghidorah, I'm sorry. Just that 3-headed bastard. I just love him so much. It's just.
I mean, his entrance was epic in 3-Headed Monsters, but that oil refinery, man, come on. That's
another question. Which entrance do you find more epic? King Ghidorah's birth or the reveal of Mechagodzilla? Which one you find better?
Mechagodzilla reveal, easy.
And the one that never made it from the trailer, where he's in, he transforms. I don't know where that was going to come in. Do you ever notice that?
It looked like it was filmed in Okinawa, but I think they filmed that just for the trailer. It didn't really actually make it into the movie. This kind of suggests that maybe Mechagodzilla was going to be disguised all the way up until the final battle.
Right.
But I don't know.
That is nothing like that. I'm just saying, 74, man.
Joe, where you at?
Ghidra.
Where you at, Eric?
Mechagodzilla.
Where you at, Adrian?
Mechagodzilla.
And like I said, Mechagodzilla. I love Ghidra. I love the birth of King Ghidra, but I'm going with Mechagodzilla on this one. I'm going with the reveal of Mechagodzilla, But again, those are ideas that I propose that we come together. Again, Collect All Monsters with Attitude versus. And it seems like y'all have given y'all seal of approval on that. So look for those shows. Like I said, once every quarter, every 4 months next year in 2024. And we're going to hold you down in terms of content. But once we get everything ironed out, because not everybody's going to be on the same show. You know what I'm saying? We're going to integrate so that everybody from both camps get their time to shine on each topic. You know what I'm saying? I think that's more than fair, right? So please look for that sometime next year. But in the meantime, thank you so much for being here for this discussion, this 10-year anniversary discussion of the X Plus Gigantic series. Again, thank you to John from Collect All Monsters, mykaiju.com, Eric Stolp, Joe Meyers, Adrian Settled, and of course, Michael Hamilton, all from Monsters with Attitude. Thank you all for being here. Now, do you have anything that y'all want to plug on your respective platforms or whatever? The floor is yours. John, go first.
Oh, well, don't go to mykaiju.com if you don't want to spoil it. You can get the whole story. And I'm almost finished translating the whole story. The book was straight from the movie, but more background. So you can read that too. And boy, but don't do that. That's what I'm doing right now. Almost done. Another about 4 days, I should finish it. It's great. Just go see -1 and enjoy. I can't wait to just hear everybody's conversations.
How about you, Joe?
Well, first off, Leslie, thank you for having me on here. It was a blast. I really enjoyed it. And yeah, like you said, you could find me on the Monsters with Attitude channels and Facebook group, but also I run my own YouTube channel called Married to Kaiju, where my tagline is, I'm the rudest, crudest way you'll see Godzilla and other toku reviewed, unboxed, and collected. And I say that because I don't know how to edit, and I don't have the time to learn how to edit, and I'm technologically not smart, we'll say.
He's Papa. We call him Papa.
Yeah, they call me Papa. So everything is filmed in one take, but I got a lot of really cool stuff. So you'll enjoy it. So give me a subscribe or something on YouTube. I'd appreciate it.
Will do.
Yeah, and obviously I'm Eric. I'm part of the Monster with Attitude crew also. Obviously you can find us there on the YouTube and Facebook group. I also have my own channel, Bearded Kaiju Unboxing Reviews, where I review figures, kind of like what Leslie does on his channel and stuff like that. I'm currently working on the Spiral Studios GMK right now, so hopefully I get that out pretty soon on everything. So yeah, I just got that, just unboxed it, reviewed it. So yeah, check out that one. That's coming really, really soon. I'm actually currently working on that and stuff. But of course, thank you, Leslie, John. It has been an absolute pleasure, especially with you, John. This is my first one with you. So like I said, big fan of you, buddy. Keep it up, Leslie. Good friend, thank you for having me on and stuff. So yeah.
A-Town, what's going on?
I guess I gotta go next. Of course, as always, thank you, Les, for having me on. Of course, I know I got my YouTube channel, Godzilla Chain 1090. I just recently put my Spiral GMK Godzilla review up. If you're not out of GMK yet, there's no review for you to watch. I'll probably do my year-end review probably in the next couple weeks, so be looking out for that. And of course, y'all know Monsters with Attitude. We are going to be talking about Godzilla -1, December 9th. So I'm definitely looking forward to that show. And don't forget, Figure of the Year discussion coming up January 5th, I believe.
Awesome.
So definitely look out for that.
John, it's always a pleasure. Leslie,
The jury's still out on that. I get that.
Jury's still out on that one. Yeah. Monsters with Attitude. We got a lot going on there. Not a whole lot else for me personally. Just kind of, I've taken a big step back from doing a lot of the podcasting and streaming and stuff that I used to do, just because I want to focus on some other stuff. But it's always a pleasure when I get to hang out with my boys. So,
Awesome.
And again, thank you all for being here. I think our next show, John, if I'm not mistaken, is December the 16th, right? On our Collector Monsters. And I don't know what kind of show it's going to be because at this point, we haven't talked about it yet because, Kyle is going to be moving by. So by the time that show's around, Kyle will actually be in Japan. So I'm sure we'll talk about that. We'll probably talk about some stuff that went on this year, some standout piece that went on that came out this year, like the GMK Godzilla from Spiral or the Burning Godzilla from Spiral or the favorite sculptor's line Gigantic Size Destroyer and all these other great things that came out this year. And that's going to be what's coming up next on Collect All Monsters. And again, you already know about the slew of shows that we're going to be doing between both our shows. And on top of that's on top of the stuff we're going to do on our individual channels. But again, me, my channel, Leslie Chambers Kaiju Reviews. I mean, of course, it's probably the last time I'm going to say this, but you already know. Come December, it is over. It is over. It's gonna be. As a matter of fact, I probably got 3 more reviews to do, and then that's gonna be it. I'm gonna try and do them before the year is out, but if not, I'll at least get those 3 done, and whether it be this year, maybe early next year, but come next year, that is it. But probably the week after our Collect the Monsters episode on December 23rd, 2 days before Christmas, I'm gonna do like a going away live stream on my personal channel. And of course, y'all are personally invited to come aboard, shoot the what with me is whatever, and celebrate 10 years of being on the channel, being on YouTube, which is you know, even now to this day, I'm still amazed by that because I didn't expect to be on YouTube this long. But now I look back on it, the stuff I've been able to acquire for myself, on top of the great relationships I was able to make with all of y'all, basically, and people in the chat too. You know, it's been a wonderful, wonderful experience. But at the same time, I want to focus my energy on helping the other content creators out there, giving them ideas, giving them questions so they can make people sweat too, stuff like that. So I'm going to be doing more so stuff behind the camera, not to mention my dudes on Collect All Monsters. But for all of y'all who have supported Leather Tables Kaiju Reviews, from people who have liked my videos, watched my videos, collaborated with me on my videos, thank you so much. But come December, it is over. It is over. It is over. Blah, 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 blah.
Nah. Hey. Goodbye.
But hey, it's all good. But again, y'all invited to that Going Away live stream. I'm gonna have Sandra there with me, with her fine ass, and we're gonna just have a good time. You know, going over some stuff that I've covered over the years and all that good stuff. So again, y'all are more personally invited to join that show. That would be, but again, I'll let you know when that will be. It'll be the 23rd of December, or it might be the 30th. I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet, depending on what my personal schedule is going to be. But as soon as I know, you'll know. But in the meantime, thank you everybody so much. Please subscribe to Collect All Monsters. Subscribe to Monster with Attitude, Godzilla Train 1090. You know what I'm saying? You know, Eric Stolp, Merit the Kaiju. You know, Kaiju Ramen. Please subscribe to all these guys because they offer some great kick-ass content. And you're in for some more come next year. More entertaining stuff. And as you saw just now, we got some hot takes. We got some different perspectives. That's the point of coming together on shows like this so we can have a good time and still be cool at the end of the day. So again, thank you to John, thank you to Joe, thank you to Eric, Adrian, and Michael, and every single one of you fine people in the chat for being here. I really do appreciate it. Now, as Kyle always says, at the end of all our streams, I'm going to do it. I'm going to try and do as good as him, but I don't have that epic radio voice that he has. I'm going to do the best I can. So again, thank you so much for being here. We really do appreciate it. And until next time, our planet may be doomed, our Earth devastated, the monsters are in revolt, and civilization is in chaos. We must unite. And say it with me.
Collect all monsters.
Oh, and embrace the attitude.
Yeah.
See ya.
Bye.